Okay, thanks for logging on to watch this video tutorial for Phire CMS. This is the first one. It's a brief introduction and overview of the installation process, and then we'll do an overview of the system itself. So let's jump right in. As you can see, I have Mozilla Firefox open to Phire FTP, the add-on for FTP client, and then I have a blank window that will be going to the test domain that I have set up in just a minute. But first, you'll see in my local area here that I've downloaded the zip archive and I've unpacked it to see the folder Phire CMS 1.1. Click into it, it's got everything that's in there. So if we go ahead and connect to my test host here, and we go into the doc root there, HTTP docs. I've already taken the liberty, as you can see, of uploading the files. That's pretty much it. There's just basically two little things you have to do to get started for the install, and that is to make two things writable. The first thing we need to make writable is the content folder here, which in this case, this is all the default settings. The system folder for the system, for administrating the system, is Phire, and the content folder where the files and images and all get uploaded is Phire content. These two folders can actually be named whatever you want them to be named. If you wanted to change this to admin, you can do that. If you wanted to change this to site content or whatever, you can do that. Upon install, you just let the system know what those folders are one time in the beginning, and then it's set in. In this case, we're just going to stick with the default settings, though. And so what you have to do, the two things you have to make writable, is the content folder and everything underneath it. Most FTP programs will allow you to do it, and if you're a little more advanced, you can SSH in or can remote connect and do it from there as well. We'll just do it right here through the FTP program. We're going to, in Phire FTP, you can just click Properties and tell it, I want to go ahead and make everything in this folder and underneath it writable. And so it'll go ahead and sweep through that. And then the other thing you have to make writable is within this actual system folder, Phire, there's a blank config file, that's 0K, and that's where the config information will be written upon install. That needs to be made writable as well. So those are the two things you need to make writable. And once you do, then all you have to do is let's go over to our domain, and you see a little text that says, the config file must be set up. It's not set up yet. Obviously, we haven't installed the system yet. So where do you go to install the system? Well, you go to the system folder, which in this case is Phire, and then type in install. So it's whatever you named your system folder /install. You hit that, and you get the step 1 screen of the install screen, which is basically going to ask you to do two things, and that is, in this step 1, is fill out your database information and fill out your path information. You can also select your language here, so if you wanted to do this in French or whatever out of the 12 languages that are supported, you can. And in this case, I'm just going to stick with English. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out the database information, leave it at MySQLi extension. I've already previously set up a database for this install. So, most of you would have access to do that most likely through your server's control panel, or you'd ask your hosting provider to set it up for you and give you this information. It's pretty standard: the database name, the username, the password, all that. The option you have here is you can set the database prefix to whatever you want it to be. So in this case, I'm going to do ph_. And then under path information is what I was referencing before. If you wanted to install this in a subfolder under the domain, like mydomain.com /my site, it would auto detect here, and you would set that here. And then if you wanted to name the system path and content folder something different, you could do that here. In this case, we're leaving it the default settings and running it at the document root, so we'll just leave it as it is. Click next, and you're directed to the step 2 screen, which is to set up the initial system user. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. And hit save. Install complete. We can log in here, start using the system, or go view the default site here. There's the default site. Let's go log into the system with that user we just created. And there you go. You're logged into your dashboard. You have a brief summary of what's been going on with the system. Obviously, nothing's been going on since it's a fresh install. So the 3 default pages are there for testing purposes, and under the default settings, you have a snapshot over here, the system overview. You have one site, your main site, right here. It says it's live, snapshot of all of that. So that is how you install the system. Fairly straightforward and fairly easy to do. Once you're in the system, we'll go ahead and take a quick couple minutes here to do a quick overview. As the super admin, you have obviously access to everything, which includes content, assets, extensions, and system. Under content is pages, templates, sections, feeds, comments. Assets has files, images, events, and tags under that, and then extensions have themes and plugins. And under system is where you can manage the sites you have under this system install. Currently, right now, we only have one. But again, remember, it does support multiple sites very easily, so you can manage multiple sites from one system install. You have members, as people, you can set different sites to allow members to sign up or interact with the site. That's where you manage that. Users is the actual system admin users, and you can set a lot of different levels of access to allow people to log in and do certain levels of things. And then configuration is just the overall system configuration. So that is a brief overview of the installation process and the system and its dashboard. Check back for more tutorials. We'll go more in depth in the other tutorials. And thanks for stopping by and watching this one.